Welcome to Good Morning Indian Country. I'm Alyssa Noriega.
And I'm Cole Brinksplenty. So glad you can join us this morning. We have lots of great things in store for you this Wednesday, October 12th, as we highlight news and information from all across Indian Country.
This project is supported by the National Endowment for the Arts.
And also, thank you to our sponsors, the Lawrence Arts Center and the University of Kansas William Allen White School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Indigenous Peoples Day was celebrated millions of Americans and Indigenous people alike this past Monday. The news and historic holiday came in existence by replacing the previous Columbus Day holiday last year. President Biden issued the first ever presidential proclamation announcing the second Monday of October to be Indigenous Peoples Day.
The holiday event is designed to honor Indigenous people by highlighting their historical accomplishments and innovation throughout and before American history. The proclamation was the conclusion of a decades-long effort held by Native Americans to get the United States to cast aside Columbus Day in favor of honoring Indigenous communities and their inherent sovereignty over the land.
Starting in 1977, Native Americans had petitioned for replacing Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day when the idea was first proposed at the International Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas. In the last several decades, as Native communities continue to push for awareness around the atrocities committed against Indigenous peoples by Columbus, cities and states around the country have begun acknowledging Indigenous Peoples Day. As of 2021, 15 states and 130 municipalities have proclaimed the second Monday in October Indigenous Peoples Day ahead of President Biden's proclamation.
Protesters showed up Monday night ahead of the Kansas City and Oakland and NFL game members of Not in Our Honor are asking Kansas City to take action by changing the name of the team, changing the team's logo, and getting rid of the Tomahawk Chop. Earlier in the morning, the team tweeted saying, quote, "Working with American Indian Community Working Group is one of the most important things we do. We value their continued help as we educate ourselves and our fans while celebrating tribes with historical connections to our region."
Nicole Anapu Mann makes history as the first Native American woman to launch into space. Mann, who is Wallachia of the Round Valley tribe, serves as the mission commander for NASA's SpaceX Crew 5 mission. The crew will spend several months on the International Space Station conducting scientific research in areas such as cardiovascular health, fluid behavior and microgravity, and bioprinting. As commander, Mann is responsible for all phases of flight from launch to re-entry. This will be her first space flight since becoming an astronaut in 2013. Mann was born in Petaluma, California. She is a colonel in the U.S. Marine Corps, and she served as a test pilot for the FA-18 Hornet and Super Hornet.
A man is arrested after shooting paintballs at Hoopa Valley tribal officers. Hoopa Valley Tribal Police in California assisted a nearby county after an assault was reported. A man named K.I. Lincoln threatened to assault another individual. After arriving, the Hoopa Valley tribal officers tried to make contact with the suspect. The man entered his home and then returned with a weapon. He pointed the weapon at officers and fired paintballs at the officer's car. The suspect was eventually secured and arrested. He was charged with assault on an officer. Luckily, there are no reported injuries.
An employee at the Museum of the Plains Indian on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation pleads guilty to stealing. The employee was 31-year-old Preston J. Spotted Eagle. He stole Native American artifacts from the museum. It was discovered back in 2021 when another employee noticed a missing grizzly bear claw necklace. After more investigation, loose bear claws, moccasins, a war bonnet, and 26 golden eagle feathers were discovered missing. All of these stolen items amounted to about $11,000. This museum is managed by the U.S. Department of the Interior Indian Arts and Crafts Board. Because of this, it's being investigated as theft of government property. Spotted Eagle faces a maximum 10-year prison sentence and a $250,000 fine. Let's take a look at your weather forecast, Indian Country. Starting with Browning, Montana, your high temp is going to be 60 degrees with a low of 36. The skies are going to be mostly sunny with periodic clouds. Jumping down south towards Wide Ruins, Arizona, prepare for a nice sunny day. The temperature is going to be a perfect 73 degrees. Your night will drop about 30 degrees as you settle in for the evening. And over to the East Coast, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, your partly cloudy day is going to be a high temperature of 79 degrees with a pretty stable drop to 61. Over in Minnesota, Red Lake, your temperature is going to be a cold 49 degrees. Prepare for scattered rain and wind. It's definitely a day to enjoy the indoors. Traveling down to the Okies, Lawton, Oklahoma, your day is a bright, sunny day with a high of 82. And a lovely evening to have a fire as your low temperature comes to 52 degrees. Wherever you are in Indian country, be sure to enjoy your forecast, and remember, it's always a great day to be Indigenous.
Coming up, KU's Tribal Relations Director, Melissa Peterson, and KSU's Coordinator for Indigenous Partnership join us live. They'll share more about the work being done with the new Kansas Advisory Council for Indigenous Education. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Our time is coming to an end this morning on Good Morning Indian Country. But first, we've got tons of things happening around Indian Country this week, and we've got your weekly roundup.
The 43rd Annual Autumn Powwow is happening this Saturday at the University of Milwaukee's American Indian Student Center. It'll be from noon to 5. It's free and open to the public and will feature indigenous foods and craft vendors.
She Sang Me a Good Luck song, the California Indian Photographs of Dugan Aguilar is traveling through California to show off its vibrant pictures of Native California cultures. The exhibition opened on Monday and will run through November 30th.
And starting today, the University of Alabama hosts the Mountainville Native American Festival. Nationally acclaimed artists, craftsmen, and educators will be highlighted at the festival, and there will be performers throughout the event. Prominent Native American performer Lyndon Ellick will be performing hoop dancing. The group Chickasaw Hithla will demonstrate Chickasaw stomp dancing. Admissions is $10 per person, and it will run through this Saturday.
A new TV series that debuted last week is tackling Indigenous storylines. The show is called Alaska Daily and premiered last week. It follows an investigative journalist played by Hilary Swank. Swank's character moves from New York to Alaska and joins a daily newspaper in Anchorage. She begins working alongside an Alaska Native reporter, and they report on cold cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women in Alaska. Alaska ranks 4th in the nation for the highest number of missing and murdered Indigenous women cases. Before the show premiered, Swank took to Instagram and said it's time to bring truth to the light. You can catch new episodes of the show on Thursday nights on ABC and stream it on Hulu.
A Navajo artist partners with the Nalgene Water Fund on a new water bottle design. The fund is an extension of Nalgene, which is a popular water bottle company that supports communities struggling with access to clean water. They partner with nonprofit organizations to raise funds and awareness. Jaden Redhair debuted his newest water bottle design last week. Redhair incorporated a traditional Navajo teaching in the design. On the bottle, you'll see a coyote filled with stars. The message behind the design is Te O'ena, which means water's life. The water bottle is available at nalgene.com, and it's only $20. $5 of each purchase will go towards fighting the water crisis on the Navajo Nation.
Thanks for sticking with us today, Indian Country. This project is supported in part by the National Endowment for the Arts.
And also, thanks to our other sponsors, the Lawrence Arts Center and the University of Kansas William Allen White School of Journalism and Mass Communications. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We'll see you right back here next Wednesday.